Good morning, everyone. This is Yi with Kasa Dreams, your go-to real estate investor and entrepreneur. In this next video, I want to share with you how my wife and I acquired our first investment property that took us down this rabbit hole of real estate entrepreneurship. We'll talk about the good, the bad, and hopefully you can take this and start your own journey, whether it be in real estate or in some other business. The first property that we acquired was a 4-unit. How that deal came about was an old IT client of ours, who's also a realtor, knew that we were looking to pivot into real estate, and she thought that would be a great deal for us with real estate. We purchased the property for $370,000. Our monthly principal, interest, taxes, and insurance payment came out to $2,700, almost $2,800, and our rent roll was $3,200 dollars a month. So instantly, we were cash flowing $500 a month already. Let's talk about what we could have done better in this deal on our first investment property. We were going to pull out of this deal multiple times. Not so much because it was a bad deal, but more so because of us. We were unsure of ourselves, and we weren't sure we were ready to be landlords because of all the horror stories that you hear. Everyone always talking about getting calls at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning, and horrible toilet fixes and horrible tenants. So that really scared us, and we were going to pull out multiple times throughout the process, which made the process even longer. I think we were supposed to close in about a month and a half to 2 months, and this property took us about, I'd say, three and a half months to close. We got it under contract in July of 2020, and we didn't close until October, mid-October of 2020. Our realtor threatened us that if we didn't close on this deal, because she knows that it's best for us, she knows it will really give us an idea of what it takes and what it's like to invest in real estate. And so she said, don't ever talk to me again if you guys back out of this deal. Not because I care about the commission, but because she cares that if this is what we are planning to pivot to, we need to do this. Because number one, if we don't like it, we could resell it and not lose anything, maybe even make profit. Not only that, during the time that we own it, we could cash flow and not have to come out of pocket with so many things. And she knew that the property was well cared for. So in hindsight, that was the only thing that was bad, or that we could have done better, because we stalled and took too long on this. Now, let me share with you the good things that happened with our first real estate investment deal. Whether it was planned or unplanned, it was still great for us, being such noobs in the real estate industry. We were just really lucky that things played in our favor with this deal. Of course, first of all, you have to have good people around you. We had a great realtor who gave us a great deal and didn't keep it for themselves. I know some realtors, they keep really good deals for themselves and they don't give great deals to their clients. Because this one, like I said, it already cash flows from the get-go. The deposits for each unit, not only that, we got it at a great price. And then we also had a good loan officer who was able to help us structure the loan properly. The loan was only in my wife's name. We were able to get a very low interest rate on this loan. So that helped a lot with the cash flow. And so those were the two things that, because we knew these people, I guess you can call it was more so planned. The things that we didn't plan for was, or understood, was that in having our current home under my name and this investment property under my wife's name, it allowed us to acquire this investment property at a very low interest rate and low down payment. We only had to put, I believe, like $5,000 for a down payment because this is my wife's first property that she's purchased under her name. And funny story, when we got married, my father-in-law said, you guys need to go and get legally married because you're just culturally married right now. And I want to see that happen. And I want to see it soon. And guess what? We got married. Life happens. We never got around to it. 2 kids later, we finally got started with the process. And during this process of, legalizing our marriage, of course, our loan officer said, hey, hold off on that. Let's do this deal first. You guys can go get your marriage paperwork after. Of course, we didn't know the benefits to that until later when we had gained more experience in real estate and understood how to navigate the loopholes that were allowed in real estate. Then we understood why the loan officers structured our loan that way. And so kudos to him. And then also, of course, unplanned, not having our marriage paperwork, it kind of played in our favor 10 plus years later when we finally got it. So what happens after we acquired the property? How did we do? Well, I think we did pretty well with this property. After the first 2 years, we had tenants move in and out. We were able to increase rent roll from about $800 a unit to $1,100 and $1,150 a unit. So altogether, we were at $3,200 of rent roll every month. And within that 1.5 to 2 years, we were able to increase that rent roll to $4,400 to $4,600 a month. So that increased our cash flow from about $500 to roughly $1,500, $1,600. And our payment was still low. Our rate was low. So it was great property. It was a great cash flowing property for us, but we decided to sell after a year and a half, 2 years. And we made over $130,000 of profit from that property. So that was our first real estate deal that we got into. Of course, when we first acquired this property, several months after that, we got comfortable in real estate investing. So we decided to sell our current home, which had netted us $170,000 in profit as well, that we've been there for 7+ years. And for my wife and I, real estate has been the key to helping us get going on our entrepreneur journey and get us started on that. And that's what propelled us to be more successful in real estate. So in our next video, which you do not want to miss, we're going to talk about how we went from 0 net worth to 2.5 million plus in net worth, and how we increased our income by 3x from 200K to 600K plus in this time frame of 6 years that we've been in real estate. We're going to share how we were able to increase our projects from several $100,000 a year doing 1 or 2 deals, flips, to now we're doing about 8 to 10 new construction builds a year. And then we also have some other project in the pipeline, the value of $7 to $8 million in projects, and how we plan to increase this to double that in the next year or two to $14 to $16 million of project. And so I can't wait to share this information with you in the next video, and I'll see you guys next week.